This is AI-generated art, and it's forcing us to question what creativity truly is. Because if a machine can imagine, if it can produce beauty from nothing but code and data, then what does that say about us, the species that taught it how to see? To understand this revolution, we have to lift the curtain. AI art doesn't copy or paste. It begins in chaos, in pure noise. Imagine static on an old TV screen. Then, step by step, the machine learns how to carve order from that chaos. It removes the randomness, guided by your words, until structure, color, and emotion emerge from the void. It's called a diffusion model. Instead of drawing lines or blending paint, it reverses entropy, turning disorder into meaning. Every pixel it creates is a guess, an echo of millions of images it's studied and learned from. When you type, "a dragon made of stained glass," it doesn't pull from a folder of dragons. It predicts what that sentence should look like, statistically, aesthetically, emotionally. It's not imitation, it's probability dreaming in color. But what happens when art becomes effortless? When the act of creation, once sacred, slow, and human, can now happen at the speed of thought? That's the shockwave rippling through every creative field. Designers, musicians, filmmakers, writers, all facing the same truth. The gap between idea and reality has disappeared. A process that once took days or weeks can unfold in seconds. You can visualize a story, test 20 ideas, and refine your favorite one before you've finished your coffee. The cost of experimentation just dropped to zero. But there's a hidden side effect. When creation becomes infinite, meaning becomes scarce. If everyone can create anything instantly, then what gives one image more value than another? The answer is no longer in how it's made, but why it was made. The future of creativity belongs not to the skilled, but to the intentional. Because the machine can generate the form, only we can generate the purpose. Of course, every revolution brings fear. Painters once feared photography. Musicians feared digital sampling. Now artists fear the algorithm, the idea that their years of study, their signature style, could be replicated in a line of code. And the fear isn't unfounded. Some AIs were trained on billions of images, many without permission. Your favorite artist's brushstrokes may live quietly inside a data set. Courtrooms around the world are still trying to define where inspiration ends and theft begins. In the US, the law draws a hard line. A fully machine-generated image cannot be copyrighted. But if a human directs the process, choosing, refining, interpreting, then part of that creation may still be protected. Companies like Adobe now build ethically trained systems using only licensed or public domain content. But ethics moves slower than innovation, and innovation never waits for permission. So where does that leave us, the humans? The answer lies not in what we do, but in what we feel. A machine can generate a face, but it cannot understand loneliness behind the eyes. It can paint joy, but it has never known the ache of losing it. Art has always been more than technique. It's emotion translated through imperfection, a brush tremor, a cracked voice, a flawed line that somehow feels alive. That is what no neural network can imitate, because emotion is not data, it's experience. We are moving from artists who create to artists who direct creation. We no longer draw the pixels. We decide which world deserves to exist. Our role is changing, but our essence, the human impulse to tell stories, remains untouched. In fact, it may become even more important, because in a future where machines flood the world with infinite beauty, the rarest thing of all will be authenticity. Think about it. The camera didn't end painting. It freed it. The synthesizer didn't kill music. It expanded its language. AI won't erase art. It will redefine the word artist. Soon, creative power won't belong to the trained few. It will belong to everyone. The teenager in her bedroom, the scientist designing molecules, the architect shaping cities. Creation will become a language, and humanity will speak it fluently. But we must also remember, tools amplify intent. A tool in the hands of curiosity creates progress. A tool in the hands of greed creates noise. And AI is the loudest tool we've ever built. So the question becomes, will we use it to reflect who we are, or to escape it? Here's the twist. AI doesn't make humans obsolete. It makes them visible. It exposes the part of creativity that was never in the hands. It was always in the mind. Maybe this technology isn't stealing art from us at all. Maybe it's showing us what art always was, a mirror. One that now looks back and asks, did you create this, or did this create you? In the end, AI-generated art isn't the death of creativity. It's the birth of infinite imagination, a canvas without edges, a studio without sleep. It doesn't replace us, it reveals us. Because even when machines can make masterpieces, they still need someone to decide what beauty means. And that choice, that fragile human decision, will always belong to us.